Uh, Call this meeting to order on May 12th, 2026, Commissioners Court, Brewster County. Let's all rise for the invocation and the pledge of allegiance, please. Let those you lead us in the invocation.
Father God, we just thank you for this glorious day that you have given us. And Lord, we pray your guidance over this court, that Father, they will walk in your ways and make the decisions that is best for the county. It's your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And thank you for this group of people in here today, Lord, that are concerned about our county. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Good morning, everybody. Let's do number 4. This will be review, discuss, and take action to approve the previous minutes of April 28th.
Item in order and move to approve as presented.
Second, motion to approve and a second. Discussion. Sarah, quality control, everything good?
Yes.
All right, any further discussion? No further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, number 5, public comment. Do we have any public comments this morning? All right. Number 6, recognitions and announcements. All right. First of all, I'd like to recognize the former county judge, Val Beard. Thank you for coming. Appreciate the visit. Look forward to hearing the comments. All right. Well, what do you got, Jim?
I think you'll have more data later, but the bulk pickup at the landfill was a big success this weekend. They had 130 trailers come across the scales, which is double anything they've seen before. I think you'll get tonnage and all that later, but it was from 8 to 2, it was awesome. So there was 20 people lined up before they even opened. So kudos to everybody involved in that.
You know, I want
my co-conspirator.
to say publicly that Linda and I took a load of trash ourselves from the house, and the people at the landfill were organized, and it couldn't have been any friendlier.
Mhm.
Very, very helpful to the citizens. So I appreciate that. They
Dan was on top when I talked to him earlier.
did a really nice job. Yeah.
There was one thing that I have not seen before. Gentleman came in there with a diesel pickup and a trailer, and he unloaded everything. Then he came out, we were weighing him out, and his truck died on the scale. So we had to tow him out to the highway. See you later.
Last trip.
You're on your own time. Get out of the way. Sarah, anything from South County?
It was a wonderful day. We got exceptionally lucky with the weather. Thank you so much. I did get a sunburn, but we had over 80, I think Johnny was counting, but over 80 visits. And we have nice big piles ready to go.
Same way, Marathon, it's the big trash pile is smaller than it has been in years past, so maybe we're making headway on everything. The metal is probably twice as much this time. But
Right.
so I mean, that's one thing that's really well received that was started several years back.
For those of you that haven't noticed already, we've got the courthouse roof going on, the replacement roof. So it is moving along quite nicely. Nothing has fallen off the roof so far that I can tell. So
People or materials.
Yeah.
This is a full replacement, not a repair, right?
It's a full replacement of the roof, both the roof and then the side metal,
Okay,
which is
gotcha.
worn really thin and was starting to give us some trouble. So that should protect the courthouse for years to come.
Yes.
All right, if there's no other recognition announcement, we'll move to number 7, Mr. Stevens. Hadn't seen you in a while. Yeah.
Had some grandkids graduating from a number of different things coming law school this last weekend, so nice to be back. Hey, thanks very much for the opportunity. I've got 4 items to talk about this morning of highlights. Of course, the big item is water. Would it be worthwhile to kind of walk through kind of a top level, how we're working from a city standpoint?
I think it would be because we all get questions.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So as a reminder, there are four main water planes that feed the city of Alpine and the surrounding area, about 2,900 customers. We had a well go out, Roberts 3 out, typically does about 300 gallons per minute. So you're talking 300,000 to 400,000 gallons of water a day, about 20% of what is used across all the services. I talked about four planes, those planes are not all connected together. So we cannot move water from the east side to the west side or vice versa. And therein lies the rub. When a well went down, Robert's a major producer. On the west side, it impacted about 900 customers. We've been working for some time to resolve an issue that's been around for about a decade and a half. It's called the lower hill, upper hill pump. Sometimes jokingly referred to as the $1 million pump that when initially fired up, blew out a number of water houses on the southeast side of town. It was shut down and never worked. About a year and a half ago, we started looking to say, let's get that thing up and running. What happens, and the reason that's so important, is it allows us to transfer water from lower hill to upper hill, and upper hill can feed the west side of town. So we pushed that a significantly higher priority, having lost the Roberts well. And so that's one of the actions that we're working. Expect that is supposed to be operational on a temporary basis. We've applied to TCEQ to get us the temporary authorization to hook up temporary pipe until we get the permanent solution in place. We expect that's probably going to take 3 to 4 weeks. In addition, we've hired water runners out of Midland. They have 2 6,000 gallon tankers that are hauling water from the airport out to the west side. The good news is with water conservation, we're able to maintain parity and keep that tank full. So that's been helpful. And you know, once if we get the upper hill, a lower hill tank or pump working, that will resolve that issue and keep that full. In addition, we are in fact working on a new well. We approved the city council last week about $1 million to go put a well in down up to 700 feet. Water table is in the 250 to 350 foot range, so we're going deeper. And as part of that, we're increasing capacity for what Roberts could put out before at 300 gallons per minute up to 500 gallons per minute. We know that will help a lot, not have us to have to run the pump all the time. So those are the big items we've got underway that we're working. My sense is we're probably 3 to 4 weeks from getting past this current water crisis. We know in the long term, and one of the things that I noted at our last city council meeting, it used to be we'd get a quarterly report on the status of all of our wells, not only in terms of their production capacity, but also the well depth, where the static levels at. We've not seen that in quite some time. We're reinstituting that, so I'll have a much better handle about where we're standing. My view, it has to do with transitions of leadership in many areas across the city, and that's an item that we got to go off and work. So I think we're on track, and the water conservation is having a positive impact in terms of people protecting. The good news is there's plenty of water underground. Our challenge from the city standpoint is getting it up into our storage tanks, not having the line loss that we have, and then make sure we can get the east side and the west side connected.
I mean, is it safe to say that quantity and quality are really not an issue?
That is correct,
It's
sir.
an infrastructure.
It is an infrastructure issue. We've been battling that for some time. I think from a city council standpoint, our focus is we need something similar to what we do with our natural gas system, a DIMP program, where we're replacing lines on a regular basis. So we work it. You know, if we go all the way back to what was down, I think 2009, 2010, when Holland and East Avenue were repaved, probably what should have done back then is replace some of the water lines there back at that time frame, but not only water in the sewer line. So we've got that major infrastructure items that will continue to go off and work. So I think, you know, we're headed down a path, but it's going to take another probably 3 or 4 weeks, which leads into the second end to talk about.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Why- Okay, I get asked, why do we have to drill a well? I mean, is the equipment in the existing hole shot done forever?
So the Roberts well was dug, I think, probably 50 years ago, and the casing is deteriorated. That's one item. The second is you can certainly reline, but and when you reline, you end up with a smaller hole. You pull out less water, you reduce capacity. So our strategy, quite frankly, is plug the hole. And when we plug it, then we can drill right next to it. If we don't plug Roberts 3, then we have to drill at least 1,500 feet away. And then, as we all know, what's the risk of being able to have a dry hole? So we really want to go right next to where Roberts 3 is right now. Yeah, and I said, increase the capacity, so it'll be a 12-inch hole that we're putting in there. But that's the other part of the dialogue we've been having in the city is age of our wells they've been around for a long time. That casing does deteriorate over time. You can certainly reline them, but we said, let's go with the new well. I expect over time, we'll probably end up drilling some new wells over the next 2 to 3 years. We'll probably continue to work wells to replace the ones we got online. And it's a casing issue.
Will the pump on well Roberts 3 be able to repurpose, or is that done too?
So we'll put a brand new pump in. So the pump that will go down at the bottom will be a new pump that'll give us the 500 gallons per minute. So,
I mean, at those prices, will the old one sold off, or is it?
I'm sure we'll probably refurbish it and put it back to use, but it's not going to be for the Roberts 3 position. It'll go to one of our other water wells. Yeah. Okay. Because you think about, you got a hole, you got to get it up, you got the wellhead to bring it all up in terms of the speed you want and the distribution. We've always got wells and pumps in the bottom that have challenges. So, yeah, we'll put it to work somewhere else. And frankly, part of our discussion too was, given the status of the casing on well 3, if we went down and couldn't get the pump out, we would not be able to drill next to it. So we made a very conscious decision to abandon the well, plug it so we can drill right next to it, because the risk was too high if we couldn't do that. So some tough decisions to work through, but we're slugging our way through it. Okay. Which leads to the next item, the pool. So we're plugging along, getting the pool all finished up. The question is, when will we decide whether we're going to fill it or not? Again, back to your comment that we have plenty of capacity for water, but we don't want to overtax the rest of the system. We're trying to make up the 300 gallons per minute to be able to serve, the west side. We'll have that discussion at the city council next Tuesday. I will tell you at the city council meeting, we did approve to expand the hours. So we're going to go beyond the normal hours that we've had up to 7 o'clock at night and do pool parties from 9 to 10 at night. So I think that's going to expand particularly for people who are working, want to be able to go out and use the pool. The key question is going to be, will we make the decision to fill it with water or not? And stay tuned for that discussion next Tuesday. Certainly it will be an interesting dialogue. Another important item we talked about, we've been working with AISD, Dr. Reinhardt, about Manuel Payne Field. We've committed $650,000 along with matching from AISD, $650,000 to upgrade Manuel Payne Field. Our rationale for doing that, one, it's a great ballpark. The other, it has the opportunity to bring people in and traveling teams and tournaments. So that's going to help from a sales tax standpoint, help hotel occupancy tax. And we think it's a good long-term investment to bring tourists in. So we made that decision. I think it's a good partnership working back and forth. And I give credit to Michelle. She's been the one that's spearheading this and pulling together. So we're great. We'll be able to see that go forward.
Will it be turfed or grass?
It's going to be turf. Yeah, we made that decision. That's part of the dialogue, make it turf. Help us with the gopher holes and all the other challenges that we have on our fields.
Water.
Yeah, water and everything else. Okay. And that's part of what part of the price tag associated with that. And we're trying to get that lined up and operating by November. The other item that I had is we did approve a couple permits. There are two. We had a request for gaming rooms. The city has an ordinance about gaming rooms. The most we're going to have in the city is 4. My observation is they don't survive. That's not clear to me what the economic business plan is for them, but we approved those 2 permits. There'll be one on the east side and on the west side in locations where they've been before. And hopefully they'll be successful bringing revenue, but we'll see how that happens. The other permit we approved is to support the permit on the east side of town where the taxidermy shop is. That'll be a sports bar area with indoor golf and a golf simulator, and we approved the permit for that as well. So some business for the east side, I think is helpful. That's all I've got.
Thank you for the work you're helping us with our, on that fire training ground out there.
By all means.
I think we've got a lot of the junk, thanks Drew, we got a lot of the junk hauled off. And the roof is on and the frames are done.
Super.
Guys will be able to do some serious training if they're not already, right?
Yeah, great.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
One thing, back to the watering, I've had 2 calls from people that said they were approached rather hostily about watering their lawn, and they said, I'm on my own well. It doesn't apply, and I don't think people realize how many have their own well. And if there's plenty of water, then they're not depleting the water table, they're using their own water. And so it might be worth noting that there's a lot of private wells that they're allowed to water, right?
There's no question, people can water with their own wells. I'm a rainwater collector, so I water my lawn with water. I have 18,000 gallons of storage water, and that's just part of the irrigation plan to save water.
Right.
If there are issues that bubble up, please let me know. I've received a number of calls as well, particularly in Ward 5, and I go confirm that someone's got a well, and then I go back to the individual who brought the complaint, and we go work it, and it tends to settle out.
Right.
But I know some people can get a little bit testy when they look and say, hey, because again, it's not a problem of water underground. It's about getting it up and distributing it through our system.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Number 8, presentation from the ladies of the lawn regarding courthouse lawn improvements. Thank you all for being here.
Good morning, I'm Kirsten Moody. For those of y'all that don't know me, I'm from Alpine, born and brought up here. I've lived here part-time now, but I'm here a lot of the time. So in fact, Carol Morrow was my swimming coach at the very same pool we're talking about many years ago. So the ladies of the lawn, I don't know how familiar everybody is. Is that a thing?
You might let them know.
Thumbs up. Okay. So around the time that the judge started, he brought together a group of women, and 4 of us are here today. It's Carol Peterson and Valinda Hennington, of course, Judge Beard, and are here, and there are a couple more members. I would love to put the call out to you all. If there are people who you know, they don't have to be female, even though they could be very, safe in their masculine. But we're not changing the name. That's right.
Sheriff Dotson said he'll join.
Wow. That would be super fun. Just to, so he brought us together just to kind of get an eye on the courthouse grounds and do some upgrades to it where we can. We got I don't know, okay, what we're seeing right now. We did get a landscape architect to come in and just do a general plan a couple years ago, which we've been following little by little as we've been sort of getting together money to do this or that, but we don't know that we'll follow the entire thing the whole way. Anyway, we're cobbling along on that. What we're here to talk about today is the gazebo. And I bet that many of y'all know that gazebo has been there since, I think, 82, probably. Is that right, Judge Beard? About 1982. And it is made of wood, and it is kind of at the end of its life, we're afraid. And the termite damage and the wood rot and, just sort of general, I think the staff has done as good a job as they can to keep it up, but I just think it's at the end of it. And so we are proposing that y'all would consider letting that structure come down. And then, because so many people love a gazebo and they love to have weddings there, they love to do all kinds of things in the gazebo, we would like to place a new gazebo in an area of the lawn that is a little bit further. It's kind of next to the sidewalk, a little bit northeast of where it is now. It's very close to the location where it was on a 1930 Sanborn map that we found, a fire insurance map, which we like that. And then we like that it opens up the lawn a little bit. It would have a cement floor on it, so it would hopefully last a little bit longer. We have some drafts you can see here of what we're intending. It would be a little bit smaller, but it would be lower to the ground, so it wouldn't have to have the surrounding, wood around it. The community band is one group that we talk about needing to use it. They can't fit in the current one. They won't be able to fit in this one either, but they would be able to, in this one, have a group of them in the middle and then spill out the sides as necessary, which we can't do on this one that we have now. So anyway, we are just hoping to put forward to you all that we think it would be a good idea to have a new gazebo at some point that is ADA accessible, that is not rotting, and that opens up the lawn a little bit more. First step, we would just let the okay to take it, just the one down that's there right now. I'm on the 4th of July committee, and people on that committee are always saying, every time somebody gets up there during 4th of July, they just worry the whole day that the whole thing is going to come crashing down on somebody. It kind of lists to one side, if you can see. So anyway, that's why we're here. Do y'all have any questions for me?
Yes. Will the pad itself extend beyond the footprint of the gazebo for, if the band has to expand from there?
The current form, I believe that Justin Gilmore, the architect that drafted these, is here. Justin, do you have any thoughts about that?
Hello, thank you so much for allowing me to jump online here. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So currently the concrete pad that we're pouring for the actual foundation of this only extends to the perimeter of the building itself. We did not intend to extend it beyond. Now, the one thing that we do have is this pad is poured right next to the existing sidewalk, which again is for handicap compliance. So that existing sidewalk we're utilizing so that we can come straight onto the concrete pad for this new gazebo, but it does not extend beyond the structure of the gazebo currently.
Yeah, I think they could kind of spill off to the sides if necessary, and chairs or whatever right there. I'm not sure they would do that, but at least it's an option for setting those things up.
I just didn't know if the musicians sitting in chairs on the grass or, whatever. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, please. Like, to kind of address that, not so much the gazebo, but we have future plans to hopefully come back to the court, and I'm not saying anytime soon, so y'all don't get excited yet. But our plans are there's quite a few of them, and it's just a little bit of stages, but somewhere down the road is to build a band shell over here in the northwest corner. And it would kind of sit sideways, and it would be a little bit bigger so that you could have the big bands, the choir, the Sol Ross, or the community band, or I guess any other kind of band. And but this is just going to be stages. A lot of the bands can't fit in the existing one anyway. So anyway. Yeah.
What's it gonna be made out of?
Yeah.
Not concrete, but.
Yeah, right. Justin, can you talk about what it's going to be made of? Is it metal?
You bet. So currently all of our all our structure is made out of wood, but everything is wrapped and lined in hardy plank. So all the cementitious fiberboard is actually what you would see on the exterior perimeter, but the actual structure of itself is currently designed to be made out of wood. And again, also the concrete foundation is the main piece. That's the one piece that structurally we want to make sure that it's very solid, very stable. Everything else being wood, and then the roof of the building itself would actually be a metal roof on top.
I think at this stage, assuming the court wants to go forth with it, we'll go out and look at it both as wood, maybe, and as a metal, and see what.
Yeah.
Compare them, see what it looks like. Yeah. So I think the court's being asked today just to consider the idea of taking the old one down.
Yeah.
Putting a new one up. We'll come back with bids on the new one.
Absolutely.
And right now, if everybody knew where the cannon was, it's about where the gazebo's going. Isn't that about right? Where the
That's right.
cannon-
I'm in the middle over there on that side. Yeah.
The cannon's coming back. People have asked me.
Mhm.
It's been painted. We're working on tires. The cannon will come back.
Yeah.
And fire. No.
That's a good question. Yeah, I would make a comment. We've all stood out, those of us that are on this committee,
Got 7 more.
out there. And what I think this allows us to use is that large outdoor space for moving the gazebo from where it is. And one thing I really noticed that it will open up the front of the courthouse.
it's a bit eclipsed, but the gazebo that's there somewhat hides it. So the front of the courthouse is beautiful. That will open that up. Then we would move this and it would open this up to be a really great event space, big community. The entire area would make a lot of sense in terms of the way it would flow. And then the next step, which we hope, to add the band shell, it just turns it into a great space for community events, I think, we're gonna have.
And then what's another thing was, Judge Anything, go ahead. Was talking about the monuments or the cannon and stuff. That is also part of the plan is to put all of the monuments, the monument stones, the cannon, things like that in a space, and I'm not sure we got that down yet. And maybe put a little walkway, a little gravel walkway through it, so that they're all kind of in one area.
What's this being funded by?
The funding would come from historical.
Okay.
And so we've got a nice set of funds in the historical restricted funds for this sort of project. So at this date, I think we'll spend money to take it down. We'll get an estimate on that, bring it back. Then we'll get an estimate on the construction and we'll bring that back. So I think what I asked these ladies to do is come make the presentation. So y'all heard kind of what the game plan is. I appreciate all the work they've done. Flower beds look nice. Roof is going on. We're going to continue to clean up the yards and so forth. So I would entertain a motion that we get a bid to tear down the old gazebo, replace it with a new one, get bids for the new one.
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion?
Will they be done?
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, will the new one be in construction while the old one's torn down, or are you gonna just take rid of one first?
We've committed to a wedding on June 10th.
Okay.
Somewhere, somehow, there's gotta be a gazebo, so we ain't gonna tear it down till June 10th. And then I told my staff, don't look anymore until we get the final game plan.
Is there a timeline?
I don't think do y'all have the ladies have been after me for,
I'd assume
I don't know, about a year to do this, so.
Yeah, I mean, if possible, which I'm not sure that would be, we would love to have it down by the 4th, because we worry all day long as there get to be all those kids and everybody up there. I don't know if with that timeline that'll work, but.
I think we can get it down.
Don't turn it down, ain't gonna be a problem.
No, I think tearing it down's gonna be. No, we may not have the new one up by then.
No,
And
absolutely.
that would just be.
So it would be good, if we did that and I don't know if there's the chance for y'all to even look at actual plans before the 4th. But if you were able to say, this is the plan we want, we could have big poster boards up that said, this is what's coming, and get enthusiasm.
My question is do y'all have I know you're not finished yet planning, but an overview, a blueprint of the whole thing from above?
We do, well, yes.
Yeah, there.
Well, so that, yeah. Requesting. So this is not the full landscape architect plan. This is just the architect's plan showing where the gazebo is. You can see over there, but the landscape architect's plan is, it should be on there. It was one of the documents in there. Anyway, we will definitely get it to you, but we're not going to be doing exactly what it is because it was pretty aspirational, I think, but we are going to kind of work away at the pieces of it that we feel like are doable and reasonable for the county to tackle. But I can definitely email that to anybody, then they can email it to you guys, however that works.
Well, if I recall correctly from when they did that landscape analysis, they talked about the different trees that are up there. So I'm assuming y'all are working with, expected lifespans of the trees as some areas may become available as certain trees have to come down.
That's a good point. And we haven't really, we do have a tree. We have a plan that shows the trees mainly because of the Christmas lighting. So we want to be able to plan all that out. But we haven't really started about talking about tree planting yet. And I agree that is going to be a really important thing going forward. You know, now that we're out there for the 4th of July, that's what we're hearing most is we really wish there were more shade, more shade. We know that'll take a long time, but we need a plan. We need to really plan for that. Yeah.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Not, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, thank you, guys. Thank y'all for coming. Appreciate your work on that. All right, we're moving on to number 9, review, discuss, and take action to consider funding for the construction of a new library in Stony Butte, Texas. And that proposal is on your iPad.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Dale Weiss, representing the Big Bend Public Library, along with my wife Allison. And whenever we do anything with the library, there's always cookies. So with story time, with programs, with fundraising, we want to have a sweet taste in your mouth. I'm not above a Pavlovian response either, so because I haven't asked today, so we want to make sure that there's cookies in the ask. So last time we were here, we talked about the ongoing success of the mobile library, which has been very impressive in terms of the number of programs, the involvement, 450 library card holders, and everything that we're doing. And at that time, I broached the idea of food for thought that maybe it's time for a permanent structure. And we have a way forward to do that in a cost-effective and a timely, on-budget way. So that's today's discussion, is the vision of where the desert takes root and the mind takes flight when it comes to a permanent library. If this is working, it is not. If we could go next slide, please. No, oh, back. Okay, there we go. Quite simply, this is the ask. We're asking the county for $100,000 as initial seed money for a $200,000 project cost with this. And our plan is to, and we'll discuss that plan in a minute, but it's to use a modular building and be up and running in the course of about 4 months with this. If the county sees fit and believes that there is a need for a permanent library in South County, then we will go out and start raising the other $100,000 as a match to get the structure up and running. And I'm going to pause for a minute because that's a big, significant ask. So that's the ask. So now we're going to talk about the what, the who. We know about the why, the where, the when, and how this is. So for the county, we want to make this as streamlined, as simple as possible. And the driver is the Big Bend Citizens Alliance. And those who remember, the BBCA has been around for 20 plus years in Terlingua. It's an established 501c3. Books are open. Form 990s are always available. And we operate a variety of projects on a yearly basis. Right now, we're about 6. The mobile library is 1, the community garden, Dark Skies, recycling, Terlingua Cares, which is a program for those in crisis. So we have an ongoing track record with lots of volunteers based on the size of that area, doing many good things for the community. And we like to say that we provide value to the community, and they in turn help us and keep us going. And so the plan would be the BBCA, the Big Bend Community Alliance, would be the steward, would be would be running and maintaining the library. And here's how we would do it in a timely and meaningful way. It's the Ramtech solution. And that's kind of an AI rendition of what the building would likely look like. Ramtech is a company that makes commercial grade modular buildings. They actually have buildings at the Terlingua School, so they do know our area. And they bring in a turnkey product. They build police stations and turnkey libraries and health facilities and government buildings. And it's kind of whatever you want in it, they will put in it, just like you would buy a modular home and stick it on your property. And that's what our plan is to do. You see the footprint there is about 1,600 square feet, mostly open area, because again, we want to have books. We already have a library, a catalog of about 3,000 books that are already cataloged in our system. But also, you know, this is a library of things. So we want digital assets. We want technology, 3D printers. We want to have programming in there. And the library of things can also be, we want to lend out tools that people need, plasma cutters, recreational items, things that mostly you can be sustainable. You might need it once or twice. The library will have that. So that's why we want to create this open space floor plan to provide that. And you see there's a landscaping and there would be the porch around it in terms of the way that looks. And again, trying to make this easy and streamlined for Brewster County in that on the right there is Canyon View Community Park. That's the proposed site. As in that actually sits in Rubens Precinct, and that's the 12 acres around where the Terlingua School is, and that's the ball field in the park. The Big Bend Citizens Alliance has owned that for a couple of decades. We run it, we maintain it, it has full utilities, it has water, it has working bathrooms, it has a location. We're ready to cut a road into there off Roadrunner near the school called Library Lane. Thanks, Sarah. We have that name from our friends at the at Rio Grande government, and so that's going to be accessible for everyone, and so that in that spot is where it's going to be. Also, it's next to the school, so kids can walk there. We want to certainly create a partnership. So you know, we've had good success with kids in our mobile library with story time and with arts and crafts and other programs. So that's one of the reasons why it's so nice to have it next to the school, because we can have that opportunity to really help with the kids. And here's some of the numbers. The building itself is just north of $150,000. And then some of the other parts of it with landscaping and furnishings. We're going to have a porch built around it. And interesting to note that the site prep, the Big Bend Citizens Alliance has $10,000 already set up in reserve to help with some of that site prep, the road cut and some of the things we need to do. Based on the community support that we're having with this library, we have a good feeling that we're going to get a lot of in-kind help as well, because there's a lot of good trade help down South County, and a lot of people own tractors and have that ability to build things. So we know that we're very confident we're gonna get into that and be able to put it down, because that's the beauty of a modular structure. You pop it on your pad site, and again, we have utilities that are all there, and we can be up and running in a fairly efficient way. So that's our bottom line. We want to make it make sense for us and make sense for the county, where it has a low risk and a high reward. As I said, it's turnkey. It's a modular building. We don't expect or anticipate any kind of surprises because it's a construction site. Everything is contracted. The building comes in as we order and sits on the ground and ready to roll. The Big Bend Citizens Alliance will operate and maintain it. We're not asking for county staffing, county help at all, as this is something our volunteer base and our organization, we have the ability to do that on the land that the BBCA owns. And we'd love to talk about a 100-day plan. You know, if you agree with us and we start this and get our fundraising going, once we cut that check, we're about 100 days, that library is on the ground, and we'll be about ready to roll with that and opening it. And it would serve everyone. We have, obviously, for South County and Terlingua residents, I know from our mobile library that about of the 450 cards that we have, maybe 100 of them are tourists. They come in, they get books. They love being around, and based on this location, it'll be easily accessible off 119 and Roadrunner and Library Lane, where we'll encourage out-of-towners and we'll encourage tourists to come by, because it is a community event. So we're here to ask for the beginning seed money so we can get the Big Bend Public Library up and running. So with that, I thank you for your time, and I'm here for questions.
Dale, does the exterior of the building, is it traditional, like power panel metal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because my only issue would be, how does this hold up over the long period of time in the sun and the heat and so forth? So if it's it's got metal panel in there.
And it's commercial grade, and the Terlingo School has Ramtech buildings in them already, so we're fairly confident you build a porch, shades, everything. And it'll be a very, new modular buildings are horribly efficient. I live in one. And, so I know that the insulation is, once you put the mini splits in there and the AC, it should be okay.
The other issue, the only two things that I have, I really like the idea and I think it's great. I'm just blown away with what Marathon has done and Alpine's done with their libraries. And so certainly Terlingua, is moving in the right direction. The two issues I have are mostly on the finance side. One is, and Sarah and I've talked about this, part of me wants to have you guys split the library out as its own 501c3. And the only reason I'm thinking about that is as you go forward and you're starting to attract more grant money, it may be very difficult for you to attract that grant money when there's a conglomeration of other things going on that may confuse grant writers in terms of what is at the end of the world that you started out with Big Bend Citizens Alliance, probably not, but maybe something to think about. I don't know what the court wants to do there. And the other thing is, you guys feel like you could raise the other 100,000, is what I'm hearing.
We've been again, I've always learned to not put the cart before the horse like we all have, but if we get this, we've already have the donor packet ready to roll. We've soft sold this with some of the local suspects that you might imagine in corporate and business world. We've got some really positive responses, so we're very confident we can get this in.
You didn't tell the court that these cookies were 5,000 apiece, right?
Let's see, 3 times 5 is 15. Do the math, yeah.
The other
Good though.
The other issue is I do want the match because I think, it kind of keeps everybody in the game, and I think that's important. I would also say that from a county's perspective, we would be last in, last out. So your money would go first and then our money would come second. We would restrict that, for the court's purposes. We do have the LATCF funding for this, and we could fund this with LATCF, which we need to spend, or certainly commit to spend by the end of this year. So
He's gonna draw tourists with use tourism money.
well, I was thinking that if there is a tourism component to it, we may be able to certainly do interpretive stuff.
Well, there is. That's on, if you look at the donor packet, that's on our plan for dark skies and nature. We got rangers come in and do talks. For sure, we can do that.
Library has an entire section about the Big Bend region, so in the mobile library, that's probably the most visited by all the tourists. They take a look at it, and we have so much material from bird watching, dark sky, astronomy, history. They like all of that, especially the rocks and gems and paddles.
And I think the last thing is I think from the court's perspective, man, we love you guys, and we can't run our communities without volunteerism. I mean, we did it at the fire department for many years. But we also all want this thing to go on forever and ever, right? We want this thing to be still there long after we're gone. So I think it's important that, we make sure that you have enough operating money and a committed board. And I know that there's ups and downs with that, but.
We agree.
Yeah.
We agree. We were able to operate it as is with the money we get every year. We figured out a way, but yes, we'll take whatever is given.
Clearly you've done that, so.
Yeah.
Any thoughts from the court?
I don't have a problem. I like your proposal on getting them to come up with a part of first and then.
We will need to craft an agreement, which my office and y'all can do, that spells out sort of the terms, but subject to those. We'll bring that back in for court approval once and it's not going to be burdensome, but we'll have a contract.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll start passing that.
Is that a motion?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I got a motion to allocate $100,000 for the purpose of building the library, subject to some of the terms we talked about in an agreement.
I'll second the motion.
Sarah, second, yes. So we said there's better be a second here. All right, discussion. Jim, got anything?
No, sir.
No?
Oh, I'm good.
Okay.
Go forward.
Motion to a second. No further discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Job, let's go to work.
Thank you. I have a quick question for you. We're looking at doing some work on Fulcher Road.
Mhm.
Can I use some of your land to store some of my materials while, you know, and I need to stockpile it there so that I can have it to move?
Yeah, we'll have a very favorable rent reason. Yes. We have 11 acres. We have a spot for you. It's not, oh, we don't have the spot, just not on that one
No.
site. But we have plenty of spot for you, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Might even be a little left over for some,
Yeah.
might even be left over for some work for y'all.
Okay, we'll take material. Leave an extra tractor. We'll use it. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys. Good job. All right, number 10, review, discuss, and take action to set a date, time, and place for a public hearing to consider a petition for the formation of the Emergency Services District for North Brewster County. For those of you familiar with this, the petition is now in. It's on, a copy of it is on your iPad. All we need to do today, we've received the petition. All of the people that signed the petition have been vetted by our election office as a registered voter and a property owner in Brewster County, North Brewster County. We got 160 names roughly. So we far exceeded the 100 that we needed. All we have to do at this point, we just have to set a public hearing date. We're not going to discuss the petition. We'll have a public hearing. Once the public hearing is done, then we'll take a vote to accept the petition and put it on the ballot if the vote goes that way. So what I'm proposing today is set a public hearing for June 16th. Tell me that's a Tuesday. June 16th.
Okay.
At 9:30 in this courtroom, and the public hearing will be specifically for the purposes of the ESD discussion. Double check my date, would you?
Yes, that is a Tuesday,
Okay, Tuesday, June 16th, that, I just need.
9:30. Second.
Motion and a second to, call a special meeting for the purposes of having a public hearing regarding Emergency Services District for June 16th, 2026. All right, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, number 11, I'll move through this pretty fast. County Judge Report, just a few things. We had a tax sale on April 7th, and it's on your iPad. We took in the sheriff took in $127,511.81, which the distribution went $62,000 to the tax office, and the difference went into what's called excess proceeds, which means that will went into the district clerk's account, will be held for 2 years. If that's not claimed in 2 years, that money will come back to the county and the other taxing entities. So did well. I'm real pleased with the proceeds. I mean, it didn't drain a tremendous amount of money for the county. We ended up getting about, I've got those numbers, but I think we got maybe 12,000 out of it. But what we did more importantly is we put properties back on the tax rolls, which is what we need to be doing. So just wanted you guys to be aware of that. And we've got another tax sale coming up in May. So the county got $14,348. The hospital district got $3,800, and the Alpine School District got $44,000 out of this tax sale. So not bad. Anyway, this is just information on me. Item 11B is in Bravo, review, discuss, and take action to ratify application for General Motors fleet. Now, you guys know we're going with Enterprise. Enterprise has offered us an opportunity to get fleet pricing on Chevrolet. We already have it for Ford and Dodge. So this is just an agreement to participate in Chevrolet's fleet pricing, which just gives us better dollars when we go buy vehicles. So I would like a motion to ratify that application.
So moved.
Well, second.
Motion and a second discussion. All in favor, say aye. Okay. Item C is in Charlie, review, discuss, and take action to ratify the 26 contract with PermeaCare. Every year we enter into a contract with PermeaCare to provide funding. They provide us funding and we turn around and provide them some funding back. This is what we've done every year. It's $5,000. Just need a motion to ratify that contract.
So moved.
Second.
It's in the budget, by the way. All right, motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And item D is in Delta, review, discuss, and take action regarding entering into a non-binding agreement. This is more of a judge request than anything. We currently use bigger staff as our law firm, which is great. They've done fine. Had a chance to work with Allison Bass as well. For those of you who don't know, they and Bigger Staff are probably the two big law firms that deal with government issues. And they approached me, and I'd like to enter into this doesn't cost us anything. It's a non-binding retainer. We don't have to use them. We don't pay anything unless we use them. Their rates are competitive with Bigger Staff. But I will say Allison Bass has got a pretty broad knowledge of the area. And for those of you that get on that listserv, you know.
Yeah.
So I would like to enter into a non-binding retainer with Allison Bass as well. So moved.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion and second discussion. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, guys. 11E, discuss and take possible action regarding Health and Human Services grant available to the Big Bend Regional Hospital District for the remodeling and upgrade of the Alpine Emergency Services Building. All right, so the background on this is there's a Health and Human Services grant from the state, not from the feds, that's available to hospital districts. And it's between, the minimum is 2 million, the maximum is 5 million. It's a 100% funded grant, so there's no matching. And it is not a reimbursement grant. The catch is it has to flow through the hospital. It has to what? Flow through the hospital district. The hospital district approached us knowing that we are probably going to be standing up potentially a new EMS system. And they approached us with the idea that would we be interested in them applying for the money, because the money has to be used for upgrading and remodeling of existing facilities, cannot be used for new construction. The idea would be we would build the dormitories up on that second floor in the station. Add dormitory space, which is going to be expensive because you've got to have ingress and egress on, outside and inside. I think we could also extend, after you and I built that shelter, we would tear that down and extend the bays all the way to the fence line of the lumberyard, which would give us 3 or 4 more bays to put ambulances in.
Okay.
I like the idea. They're going to do the lifting. They're going to apply for the grant. Here's the catch. There's always a catch, right? They have to own the property. Now, I don't know if that means they have to own it in fee simple, or we can have a joint agreement with them. We're going to explore that. The idea would be if we did that, we would, it's important that we retain control over the building. And we would continue to maintain and operate and oversee the building. They would own it, repair it, and then once it's all done, deed it back to us in a new state. I need to work through the legal implications of that, but it would require either them to be on the deed with us, which would be my first vote, would be to be a joint tenant or joint ownership, or it would have to be fee simple. And that's the catch. And so what I need from y'all today is interested, not interested. Should I explore it some more? It seemed to me that will be a good source of funding for us as we grow. There's no guarantee we're going to get this grant, but we'll apply.
Well, I know the talks have been forever to build the dormitory above the fire station, so.
Been talked about for a long time. And this would do that and expand our station.
It's always been funding that was the holdup, so.
Depending on how we do it, we can't do new construction, but we might be able to figure out a way to do something by building a bay in there as well. So we might be able to figure that one out. Maybe we can add it off to the back or think about that. Anyway, my question to y'all is, do you want?
I'm pursuing more information on it, but do they gift it back to us? I mean, at what point does that happen?
Well, and that's one thing I need to work through, because it sounds easy, but I know when it comes to grants, that may be more difficult. But what hospital district says, we'll take it, we'll remodel it. When it's all done, we'll deed it back to you. But the question is, can they do that? I don't know if they can. I don't know if the grant would prohibit them from doing that. In other words, otherwise, why would they just fund us? Right? Now, if we could do it as a partnership, both of us own that might be a workable deal where we retain all rights of control of it, but they get to be on the title. So those are things that's got. This is more of an idea than.
Yeah,
I'll bring it back, whatever we want to do.
I'm in favor of checking into it.
Yeah, fine, I'm about it.
Okay.
Yeah, go.
Would y'all give me a motion approval and that?
I move that Judge Hanson finds out more about it.
Okay.
Answers all the questions.
Okay.
I'm sure more questions will come up.
Second.
Yeah. All right, motion and second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. All right, number F, item F, we have the 2018 Dodge Ram. Thank you, Ruben, for helping us get that done. The transmission's been repaired on that. That was James's old EMC vehicle. The motion here is to approve it to be donated to the Marathon Fire Department to replace a vehicle that they just lost. That their Suburban is finally, the one we gave them from Terlingua years ago, that it's going to the Paris junkyard.
Make a motion to do.
A second.
Motion and second to transfer the 2018 Dodge Ram to the Marathon Fire Department. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, item G, this is another housekeeping item for me. Melinda and I have talked about this and just need authority from you guys. Many times as judge, I need to go register a vehicle or pay a county clerk fee, and then it turns into this purchase order, go get the card. Normally it's so cumbersome, I just pay it out of my pocket, then forget to reimburse myself. So what I'd like to do is permission from.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'd like permission is to have a credit card in the county judge's office that we could use for de minimis, which would be less than $100 for us to use. I'm not going to travel with it. I'm not going to take the former judge out to lunch or anything like that. I just needed to pay oddball things, fees and things that we do around the county. And Melinda and I thought it'd be best to bring it through you guys.
So moved.
Second. Okay, motion is second, discussion. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
You guys. All right. Sheriff, since you've been here, let me just bounce over to yours. Can I do that? Okay, I'm gonna skip over road and bridge for a second, go to number 14. We don't have a treasurer's report today other than item C, number 1, which is review, discuss, and take action to ratify, approve the memorandum of agreement between Brewster County and U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement regarding the Brewster County's participation in Senate Bill 8. Sheriff, can you enlighten us a little bit about kind of what all of that's involved?
What is Senate Bill 8? Yeah.
Senate Bill 8, the legislature and the governor require, it's mandated that every sheriff in the state of Texas sign this agreement. If not, you'll be investigated by the Attorney General's office. Just so, because I saw some Facebook stuff here, we do not have an ICE office here. I have not seen an ICE officer in 15 or 20 years. They can come here. If we have any kind of deportation or something that after a criminal offense, a state offense has occurred, that they have a detainer on, we are only contacting ERO. And that's because another federal agency has a detainer on these individuals. And we're definitely not Minnesota. We're nothing like that. But the training that this grant will give us that we don't have to have an ICE officer come down and do the fingerprinting, we'll have a jailer or one of the detention officers will have that authority to do that here locally. It makes no difference after a state crime. If they have a detainer, they can come get them. But it's ERO, it's not the ICE agents themselves that come down here and pick them up and drag them off. It's ERO, they come. And I can tell you in the last 10 years, we've never had to call ERO. So it's kind of a mute deal, but we need the grant money for the training so that the officers here, if that occasion comes up, they can do all the ERO work right here and we not have to call anybody to come pick them up. And eventually they'll come get them and take them to a facility where their charges will be prosecuted. So it's not, it's not a
I'm not gonna say it's not a big deal, but it's not a deal that is gonna affect this community or anything else, but the training is free. It's in South Carolina, but the problem is they don't pay for the travel, they don't pay for the lodging, they don't pay for any of that part, and that's where that money will probably end up being spent. But the training itself is free.
As I understand it, the governor said, y'all gotta sign this, and you guys came back and said, well, yeah, but we don't have the money to send these guys to training. And so they came up with Senate Bill 8, which is a pot of money available from the state, which can only be used for training.
Yes, exactly.
Training for this particular program.
See, at first it come out as an unfunded mandate, which they didn't realize, we don't all have the money to send somebody for a month. We're gonna send two for a month in South Carolina, and that's paying their motel bills and their food and all that and travel getting there. So everybody kind of complained when the legislature met this time, and they gave us this money to apply for to get it. So that's what we need it for.
So what are the other catches on this? Senate Bill 8?
We haven't taken, we haven't taken the money.
We hadn't taken money yet.
Not any
But
place.
it's only for this training, right?
Well, it's for training only. You can't buy stuff. You can't do anything with it.
For this particular training.
Yes, this
It's not like you can
particular.
just do some other training. You have to
Right.
use.
No, it's mainly to use for this training. Cause what does it cost to stay in a motel room, South Carolina for a month for two people? And they're gonna eat 3 meals a day and stuff like that. So
The training's a month long?
it's a month long. We have deputies now that are trained in ERO detention. And it was only a week training. That was also required that we have at least one that was trained in ERO detention. We haven't detained anybody, but it's just part of that stuff. What if you need it someday type thing. So right now hadn't had any use, hadn't had anything with it. Most everything that's brought to us are illegal entries and are immediately released to Border Patrol, or they'll take them to the U.S. Marshals or something, and they move them around.
Sheriff, we get inmates now that have come across the border and they stay in our jail until Border Patrol picks them up, right?
Well, they come to the jail. We don't house anybody who's just if there are multiple illegal entries, that becomes a crime that the government can file on. So we'll hold those until they meet before the magistrate judge, and then the judge will, set their bonds or whatever, no bonds and whatever they do with them. And then the marshals move them to other facilities or bring them back to our facilities, and where we hold them until they're deported.
Well, my concerns are many. It's been explained to me that the training is not optional, like one way or another. Well, sheriffs in Texas counties have to have this cross training with ICE.
Yes.
And I know we don't have any room for argument with them on this, but I will say that just for the record, I don't like the idea of our sheriff's department becoming conflated with ICE, because I think it would suppress people who might need to call your office for help. I think people would think twice before calling the sheriff's office if they're in a domestic abuse situation or anything like that, because they think, am I calling the sheriff or am I calling ICE right now?
Okay, well, here's the difference. We can't enforce anything on the streets, nothing. There's we're not immigration officers. We have no authority over immigration. This is strictly when they're incarcerated in the jail. Alpine PD, DPS, somebody arrests somebody who is an illegal, who's committed a crime, a state crime. That's the only time we have any authority over it. And authority, we're not saying that we have the authority. What we're doing is we're preparing the paperwork for the detainers. We prepare all that stuff there, and we can fingerprint and utilize that system to see if they're, if they're a multiple entry or something like that. No, I've been to several houses last week in Terlingua that everybody in the house was illegal. There's nothing I can do about that. There's not, so they don't have no fear of us coming to a domestic or something like that. This is only in a jail situation. It's not for the street. We have no authority over immigration as border patrolmen aren't peace officers. So we're very much
Don't be
separated.
scared to ask for help, basically. People shouldn't be afraid to ask for help from.
Oh,
the
no, I
office.
mean, they're not going, there's nothing there. And that's, and there's so many rules for the border patrol and, HSI. I mean, they fall under some government stuff. They have to make plans for months and before they go do all these arrests and stuff they do. But no, I can tell you, I was interviewing myself. I went to 2 homes. Both homes are migrants living in them, and there's nothing I can do about that, So they have no fear. It's only in the jail once they've been arrested for a state crime.
Some people have told me exactly what you just said. They're afraid this is gonna tie you to ICE and we're gonna have. And I get I'm glad you explained all that to me, because
Yeah, we're
it
not,
makes a lot more
we're
sense.
not tied to ICE or never will be, as far as I can tell you. I mean, we don't have that authority over any of that. It's just in a jail situation. So the ERO does not have to drive from Pecos. Basically, it's convenient for them. Our people can prepare the paperwork right here. That's it.
Does that help us on reimbursements from the federal government on jail population? Do we get money do we get money back in terms of, do we get money if we house them?
Well, housing, yeah, oh yeah, any federal inmate that's housed and has gone and been arraigned, we benefit the $85 a day for them to be housed in the jail.
So they don't restrict anything, they're not gonna have any more control over you, over the county?
No, they won't have any control. They just made us all agree that we're gonna work with ICE when it needs to be done. And I can tell you here, we haven't had, I had an ERO out one time in 10 years.
Thank you for explaining that.
Is this a voluntary thing to go into a cooperation with them?
No.
Mandated.
It was actually mandated. And, of course, me, I'm a procrastinator. I hold things off. I actually got my threatening letter because I waited a long time before I signed off on anything like that. But, I always thought we were participating with ICE anyway. I mean, HSI before 9/11, that was all ICE. All that stuff was invented because you had Border Patrol and you had Customs. And then now you have ICE, HSI, ERO, Border Patrol. You have all these people that are involved in the immigration process now, so.
No, the thing that someone called me this morning and pointed out that the SB8 said requiring sheriffs in counties with population of 100,000 or more to enter into a formal immigration. So it's obviously it's not the 100,000, it's any county.
Yeah, it was every county.
Every county.
Yeah,
Because it said 100,000.
all 250.
Doing it.
That, and then they changed it to everybody.
Okay.
And tell me
So
again
they
what
didn't
happens
read-
if you don't.
I didn't read.
Updated
The
language.
letter I got said that they would turn my case over to the Attorney General's office. And I don't know what they can do. I don't see how you can be investigated for not participating. Didn't do anything wrong, but apparently it's because it is the Senate bill and the governor signed off on it. It's some kind of administrative thing they can do to sheriffs.
So is that funding for the training? Is that from the state or federal government?
State.
What I'm hearing is that somebody comes into our country and commits a state crime. They should be prosecuted like anybody else. When it comes to the immigration side of it, you're not an immigration officer. That's not your concern.
And if they're here, say Border Patrol catches them or DEA or somebody catches them with drugs and puts them in a jail, we're not involved in the ERO process. The only time we're involved is if a state agency, one of the agencies, city or whatever, puts somebody in jail and he is an illegal immigrant, then that's the only time that we would do his fingerprints and do the paperwork for the detainer.
An illegal immigrant that has committed a crime.
committed a
Right.
crime and it's not necessarily DWI and stuff like that. It's gonna be a real crime. I mean, it'll be murder, rape, robbery, burglary, stuff like that. So like the criminal trespass and stuff, we're not gonna, because that doesn't count towards anything they got. Most of the time, if they have a crime, if they have say we have a state crime and the feds have a crime on him, if their crime's bigger, our county attorney or district attorney will drop our charges and let the feds take them, which happens 99% of the time. And then we don't do any ER work. So what I'm trying to tell you is, if it happens, it's gonna be very rare. So that's what's gonna happen.
Can I ask one other question too? There's been some stuff in the news recently about one of the larger cities being threatened with loss of grant funding over these agreements. Would that apply in your case as well, that you could potentially lose some of your state grant
I
funding?
lose all the grants, state grant funding.
Yeah, which would be the SB 22s, the Lone Star, the whole 9 yards.
That's how they punish you. But I can tell you, it's very rare that we'd have to do it. We're gonna be trained to do it if it happens, but it's very rare. Because usually the feds charge, if they got a higher charge, it'll go there. Now, of course, if it was a murder or something like that, the state's gonna go do their part and they could sit in county jail. And we're not gonna get any money for them if they're arrested by the state. They're gonna sit in county jail until their court dates. And if they're prosecuted, if they're found guilty, of course, they'll go to state prison. And then from there, after they do their time there, then the feds will pick them back up again and take home.
So the sheriff, I'm coming down, but if it's an illegal, they're here illegal, so it's already against the law.
But it's not against state law.
Difference between a parking ticket and something else.
Yeah, just being here illegal is a federal law violation, not a state law violation.
It's a state law violation. That's when we're involved. If it's a federal violation, they don't. And you're not ignorant. Right? You're not ignorant.
The reason this is in here, there were two reasons this came in here. One is it's a contract or it's an agreement and court sees these agreements. And number two, when I read the contract, it basically said that we were gonna pay for all the training. And frankly, we don't have that in the budget. So if it was left up to us to pay for it, we wouldn't do this.
Yeah, we wouldn't have any
money.
training.
So the state came back in and said, okay, we see that the small border counties particularly don't have a bunch of money laying around to send somebody to South Carolina, so we're gonna give it to you. That's why it's here. I'd entertain a motion or whatever you guys want to do.
Nobody wants to be the motion.
I'll move.
You make a motion to ratify the agreement.
Yes.
I'll say.
All right, motion second, any further
I
discussion?
have one more question.
Yep.
Why South Carolina?
So the training center is.
Really centrally located.
It's a nice spot between Florida and New York.
Yes. Okay, just wondering.
All right, motion and second. I don't think anybody in the room is just jumping up and down, but I think it really helps to know that this is just a sort of a nothing burger for
Yeah.
Europe.
I don't want to say formality, but I don't want to say formality.
I think the downside is far worse than, like I say, they're gonna punish you if we don't do this.
That's what third of his funding comes from state grants.
Yeah, and they know it.
That's correct. And if I had all the money in the world, I'd get rid of all the grants, but I don't have all the money.
There was a person who's sitting in this room advised me in that a long time ago. Right,
You're
Judge?
sitting right behind you. These grants come with ever more strings and we gotta have. It irritates me as a citizen that we've gotten ourselves into this, but on the other hand, a lot of what we are able to do is because of it, so.
Yeah, and even the discussion about the wall in Big Bend, this has come up that we do have grants, that's all we do. You know, we have 3 deputies that are assigned to border security every day. And, you know, and the letters I've written to everybody said, you know, you're giving us money. Let us do our job. And, you know, and it comes back and they say, well, you know, good point. That's some of the comments we get back from them. You know, the government gives us Stone Garden and we got Lone Star money from the state. And, you know, we're doing our best to, you know, and that's what, you know, and you know, DPS has Stone Garden. Everybody's using it to maintain border security. Us especially, because we're actually out in the ranches and on the field and on the river. So anyway, and it's been working. I don't know what President done, but he has slowed that traffic, not to zero. No, it's never going to be zero. But I can tell you where we were getting up to 400 migrants a month in traffics, we've gotten a 16 since January.
All right, we've got a motion in a second. There's no further discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, thank you, Sheriff. Appreciate you coming in. Okay, let's blast through bills. Comptroller.
Do you need to go back and get Road and Bridge?
Oh, I forgot about road. He's saying no. I'm sorry. Thank you. Road and Bridge, real quick. I forgot emergency management and road and bridge.
They're really quick.
Thanks, Jeff.
We've prepared a couple of roads for, the fog seal. We fog sealed Cemetery Road, also in the Holy Angels Cemetery that goes around, just to preserve that one little piece. And also we did, fog seal on Mountainside Drive. We moved some equipment from around to Marathon, Terlingua, so we can get ready for the dump day on May the 2nd and May the 9th. They, like Ms. Galando said, that the turnout at the Terlingua yard was good. I would like to thank her for helping unload. Also, the residents of Terlingua were very helpful in unloading their material. Also, Marathon went good. The residents helped us unload a lot of their stuff also. There was a combination of metal, household trash, oak lumber, SUVs, lawnmowers. I did have a couple of complaints in regards to turning some loads back because of the refrigerants in the AC units and refrigerators. They wouldn't show me the proof that they had taken out the Freon by a certified tech. So they were upset about that. They were gonna call up a poster. They would call the commissioners or they were gonna call the judge, so I don't know if they have or not.
1-800-TCEQ. That's my answer. Or EPA.
There's always a couple every year. Don't read the whole flyer.
We've also started hauling some of the trash from Terlingua to the landfill. That's what I have for this week.
All right. Anything for Johnny? All right. No permits?
No, sir. No permit request.
All right, emergency management?
All I got for y'all is I sent you the new drought monitor. We're doing really good. The only part that's really hurting for water is, you can see there's Big Bend area. But we're actually doing really good right now.
That's surprising.
Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll still keep the burn ban because we even though better, we're still dry. Always have that going on. That's all I have.
Dry and we have fuel.
I'm gonna dry and fuel. Yesterday was 81% humidity, so it was really nice. So we hopefully we can keep up with that.
It was 14 at my house.
Oh, sorry, precipitation.
You're down there in that dark area.
Yeah, you can dry lumber at my house.
That's all you got, James?
That's all I have.
All right, thank you. All right, let's move to the comptroller now.
Okay, first up is the payables that have purchase orders. Those are in the receipt invoices packet. And the total on those is 74,533 and 88 cents. And if you notice, we do have a new bank code on that. We'll be paying them out of the new operations account. Still at Trans-Pecos Bank. Nothing unusual in those. Was there anything in that? Anybody has any questions on?
The only question I have is 454 is LATCF, isn't it?
That is correct.
Okay. I make a motion to accept the receipt register as presented. Second. Motion second, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, let's do invoices without purchase orders.
Okay, invoices without purchase orders. The total on that is going to be, get that page. Page $80,050.24. And if you look at, it's on page 9 out of 11, you'll notice there's a negative 179088 that are a couple of credit memos. And one of those is where on a the fuels, they were hitting us with some penalties. We finally got those resolved, and so we've got a credit against our account on those. The other one is Morrison's gives us a discount when we pay by a certain date, but we don't really have anything to use that against, so we're gonna take that off of here and we'll use it on the next month. The other item that's a little bit unusual, line barger. If you notice, those are marked as being on hold. The invoicing on that account had gotten, it was very, very confusing and unorganized, I'll put it that way, with no statement as to what the balances were back a year ago or more. And we finally had not gotten an answer on some overpayment that looked like they owed us back. And so I had put these on hold, sent them a notification saying, you know, we either need a refund or we will be not paying these, we'll be applying it as a credit memo. We'll be getting our refund check next week. So we're gonna go ahead and take those off hold and get those paid. So other than that, everything again is nothing out of the ordinary. And do we have any questions on that packet?
Make a motion to accept the payables without POs.
Okay, I didn't see the one for Todd in there.
I'm sorry?
I didn't see the one for Todd in there.
Should, if it's not, I will double check it and we will get that paid.
Yeah,
That should.
I didn't see it on that list though.
I know, I don't know, I can go back and look, but I thought it was in there.
It might have been, but I might have overlooked it too.
Okay, well,
Can we make sure it gets paid the day the guy's been waiting?
yes, sir, that's what I'm saying. If that would be an approved payment by the court. And I will make certain that it is added to this packet if it's not in there already.
Okay, thank you.
And I will apologize that apparently I overlooked that on review.
Thought I saw it in there, but.
I thought it was in there,
I might have missed it.
We'll get it paid.
but we will get that paid today.
Thank you. Make a motion to approve. He owns it. He owns them. KOIZAN.
AOIZAM.
Did I get a second on that motion after me?
I'll second.
Motion is second to accept the payables without POs. Oh, you did? Okay.
I did a motion.
Okay.
All
Excuse me, he is in there. It is on page 17, Ruby.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Page 17, there's only 11 pages.
I only got 11 pages. He's in the
It's
other.
in the one with the POs.
Oh. We already did him. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Either way, he gets
There he
paid.
is. Okay. 3593, perfect. He's already in there, Sarah.
All right.
Okay. Motion is second to accept the POs, the payables without POs. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, recurring.
Recurring expenses, again, fairly minimal. Most of these are gonna be, utilities, et cetera, that were paid over the last week. Total of 25,919.03, and just need ratification from the court on those payments.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, discussion. Pretty straightforward. dial tone services, Melinda, you and I are gonna go back through that. We should be zero dial tone services,
One would think, but
but.
apparently we are not.
We have some at the county.
Some of it is road and bridge.
Yes.
I believe,
Then let's get together. I'm gonna get you replaced with Starlink.
Yes.
Okay?
and if I
Get rid of
remember correctly, I think there's, I'll have to go back and look, but I think there's one of the LPRs that still has to use that, but I may be wrong.
We got a motion. Who seconded it? Jim did. Motion is second to accept the recurring payments. All in favor, say aye.
Right.
Budget adjustments.
Okay, budget and line item adjustments, the first two, 141 and 142. Line item adjustments for the sheriff's office and the jail to cover additional special qualifying pay that has been earned during the year. One of them for the jail is in the amount of $6,000. I'm sorry, the sheriff's office is $6,000 and the jail is $8,000. And that is being taken from a budget line item for wages that for a position that's not filled. The next one, 143, is simply to correct the budget. There was an error in setting up the budget between the line item for the detention supervisor, or the dispatch supervisor and the detention officers. So that is being changed to correct that. And the adjustment amount on that is $106,644. And then the last one is also for the sheriff's office. And this kind of goes back to the dial tone services, Verizon, to increase their budget for their mobile internet. And we are taking that out of lease payments that appear to be unused.
Move to approve all line item adjustment.
All right, motion to approve the budget adjustment, line item adjustments. A second. Motion second, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We've got one more. I'll take the lead on this. If you'll go to your iPad and click on special qualifications pay approval. It's item B as in Bravo. It's in the, it's actually up in the treasurer's thing.
Yeah.
What is it? Special? Look under find financial reports.
Oh, okay.
And then go down to up higher. No, up higher. Special qualifications pay approval.
There it is.
Okay, all right, so I'm gonna bring this back into court on the 26th, and we're gonna clean up this special qualifications pay thing. So you guys know, last year we passed, mostly this involves law enforcement, although there are some exceptions, but if a law enforcement officer goes and gets their master peace officer or their intermediate peace officer, there's an extra stipend for that because of the training that they do. And that's fine. And we've approved that. But what happens is that it comes in the middle of the year and it messes with our budget. And we don't know when they're going to go. The sheriff, if one of his deputies wants to improve themselves and take the training, they can just go do it. And then they're entitled to this SQP pay, okay, which we'll talk about at budget. The problem is that apparently in the old days, the way we did it, Ruben, was if you got it during the year, you didn't get your SQP until October 1st, so we could budget for it. And so you didn't get it automatically. So we're going to go back. Somehow that system got corrupted, and we're going to go back to SQP. If you get it today, you won't see it until October 1st. Does that make sense? So that we can properly budget for this, because we don't know, they're coming out of the woodwork. Okay, and so that actually the sheriff suggested, he said, I thought that's the way we used to do it. It seems like it was, but somewhere along the way, it quit happening. It just sort of got paid as we went along. So now, having said that, these four in front of you are sort of kind of grandfathered in. These are people who have accomplished SQP. We're going to go ahead and pay them. I'm advocating we go ahead and pay them because we haven't changed the rule yet. We'll change the rule on the 26th.
From here going forward.
But subject to our 26th discussion.
This is just a weird question. On that list, you have last name, first name until you get to Tyler. Is Tyler his first name or his last name?
I can't see the list, I'm sorry.
It's number 4, it's on the board.
I mean, they normally, it's
His first name.
Tyler Thompson or Thompson Tyler.
His first name's Tyler.
I think it is, I think that is correct.
I did, I know.
I think his first name is
Here it
Tyler.
says Thompson Tyler.
He's got 2 first names.
Yeah. Like.
Tyler Thompson. And either one out of America.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Anyway, I need a motion to approve some of.
Second.
All right, motion and second discussion. All in favor, say aye. Okay. All right, anything else, Melinda from Comptroller?
No, sir.
All right, we have no report today from tourism. So, number 17, did you have something?
No.
Okay. Tourism. Section 551.072 of the government code allows the Commissioners Court to go into a closed meeting, which we're about to do, to deliberate regarding real estate. A governmental body may conduct a closed meeting to deliberate the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property if deliberation in an open meeting would have a detrimental effect on the position of the governmental body in negotiating with the third person. This would apply in this case. I would like to recess to a closed meeting for a few minutes and we'll come back into open session. Put it here? Yeah, we're gonna go back there. Thank you, guys. This court will now reconvene into open session to take some action regarding the items discussed in closed session. What time do we have? 11:19. All right, the first order of business that we need to take up is I would entertain a motion to accept the purchase agreement for Mr. J.P. Bryant to purchase 0.189 acres of land in Marathon, Texas, that adjoins the existing property that we own for the large purchase price of $1.
So move. Second.
All right, motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, I'd also like a motion, so this will help Melinda. I'd like a motion that we are paying all the closing costs on this $1 transaction. So I would like a motion to pay survey, title policy. We will not pay the taxes on it. Mr. Bryan will pay taxes up to the closing date. But all of the closing costs, I'd like to go ahead and get approved as well for this project.
And that would be coming out of hot funds?
That's gonna all hot funds. And Melinda, I don't know the dollar amount. It's gonna be, I don't know how they price a policy on a dollar purchase, but it's not gonna be $1.
No.
So,
I'd figure somewhere
I'm gonna
south,
get,
south of 1,000.
yeah, I'm gonna set.
Probably wouldn't be that much for the survey too.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, I would like to allocate,
Okay.
$5,000 for closing costs, which would be more than enough. So I entertain
I
a
don't
motion
think it'd be
to,
that much, but
yeah, I think it's gonna be way over, but let's just do it.
Yeah.
I'd like a motion to approve up to $5,000 for closing costs.
So moved.
A second.
Motion is second, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, second transaction that I'd like a motion on. This is to purchase 9.959 acres in South Brewster County at the intersection of 118 and 170. We're purchasing it from Aramark Sports and Entertainment Services for a price of $39,836.
to approve.
Okay, motion to approve, second by Ruben, vice versa. Discussion,
Could we,
I'm sorry. Second, Ruben.
Judge, could we
Yeah,
put in there that will also come out of hot funds?
this funding will come out, we'll add that to the motion. The funding will come out of tourism money. All right, motion is second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, I need an additional motion to approve the payment of a check for $3,983.60, which is the earnest money price payable to Ellison Abstract over the earnest money on this particular transaction.
So moved.
Motion is second. Melinda, is that enough to get you a check cut?
Yeah.
Do not need to bring it back in here for approval or,
No, I think we'll be good on that because you approved the actual payment of the earnest money.
because when I take this
And I'm
contract.
assuming
too,
you
I
need
to-
that today.
Well, tomorrow, next day. Okay. All right, motion second, $3,983.
3983.60.
60 cents. You round it to 84 if you want to. All right.
I like it exact.
Motion second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, I need a motion to also approve up to, I'm gonna say $7,500. I don't think it's gonna be anywhere close to that for closing costs on this transaction.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion is second. This will be again out of funding of hot
Could we
tax.
make that, we do not have a purchase order on that $39,000 amount. I would suggest that we do a purchase order for the 7,500 of closing plus the 39,839
Mhm.
and show that as land acquisition.
Okay.
The visitor
All
center
right,
and
I'll
do a
add
purchase
that.
order on that.
You wanna add that to the motion?
But basically, just combine the two so that we can do a purchase order.
I'll amend that to the motion.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, that's all that we had today for real estate transactions. I'm sorry? 9.9 acres. And, there's no further business of the court. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Our next meeting. Motion is second. The next meeting is gonna be May 26th.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
This court is now adjourned.